First though, tonight, the story of missing Irish teenager Amy Fitzpatrick. It's literally every parent's nightmare that your child could simply vanish off the face of the earth. 15-year-old Amy disappeared on New Year's Day in Mijas near Fuengirola on the Costa del Sol.
Today's case brings us to Spain, a beautiful country which lies in the middle of Andorra and Morocco. The people of Spain are known for their easygoing love for life. The country has a great array of food with fantastic dishes. One that comes to mind is paella. It's a go-to dish when I find myself in Spain. The country has a love for football, with two of the most famous football clubs calling Spain home. They are Barcelona and Real Madrid. When the summer comes around, Spain is known for being the most popular destination for a holiday. It's not too far if you live in Europe, and it's nice and relaxing, and it's mostly always sunny in the summer. And sometimes people come from abroad to live here, and that's what happened in this case. In 2004, Amy Fitzpatrick, she moved from Dublin, Ireland to Malaga in Spain, with her mother Audrey, older brother Dean, and her mother's partner Dave Mahon. They came to Spain for a fresh start, in a completely different country by the sea, with nice weather, and as a bonus, there was better job prospects for David, as he was an estate agent. Spain is a popular destination for Irish citizens. It is known for a holiday spot, but it is also known for Irish citizens to relocate to Spain. This is not at all out of the ordinary. On New Year's Day in 2008 at around 10 p.m, 15-year-old Amy Fitzpatrick, she left her friend Ashley Rose's house. This is where she had been helping Ashley babysit her brother the night previous, and she ended up staying the night. This was in Mijas Costa in the city of Malaga in Spain. This was a residential area, however. This is also a tourist area, with a lot of bars and restaurants dotted around the place. Amy began to walk back to her house in Riviera del Sol, and this walk should only take around 10 minutes door to door. But Amy never made it home that night.
This is the path that Amy Fitzpatrick took that night, an unlit, lonely track surrounded by undergrowth. But search teams have found nothing here, no sign of the 15-year-old, and if she has indeed vanished, it's without a trace.
I just want to appeal to anyone who may be holding Amy against her will. Please, let my baby Bunton go. She's a loving kid who would never do anyone any harm. She'll be frightened. Please don't hurt her. And Amy, if you're there and the time is going on and you're afraid to come home, please don't be afraid. There's nothing to be scared of. We just want you back with us where you belong.
This is where Amy walked from the house just behind us here up to our house. It's about a 10-minute walk. We didn't even know this laneway existed. The kids still walk this way. When Amy went missing after the second or third day, the Guardia were out here with the helicopters. They searched all the ravines around here with the sniffer dogs. They went through with a fine-tooth comb, came up with nothing.
Her family would not report her missing until January the 3rd, as they thought she might have been staying in a friend's house. Amy only knew a handful of people in Spain, and Ashley and her family were part of this group. When asked what Amy had with her while she was in her house, Ashley said she had her phone with her. That on New Year's Eve, the day Amy stayed the night, she used her phone to transfer Amy's mother's phone number to Ashley's phone, so she could call her mother to wish her a happy new year. But when Amy's parents reported her missing, they said she had left her phone in the apartment with them. Now this stood out as very strange immediately. Over the Christmas, Amy was going to be going back to Ireland to visit her dad for Stephen's Day, which was on the 26th of December. But according to Amy's mother Audrey, this trip was cancelled as Amy's brother got into some trouble in Spain. However, on the 26th of December, Amy showed up at Ashley's house crying, saying that her mother's partner Dave wouldn't let them back to Ireland to see their dad, because all he wanted was for them to spend New Year's together. Ashley said once Amy was back in Ireland, she was going to stay with her dad. She was going to refuse to go back to Spain with them. And Amy's mother Audrey had no idea about this. But now that this trip back to Ireland was cancelled, Amy was extremely upset that she couldn't go home. Now Ashley and her mom Debbie, the two people who were last to see Amy, told the media her relationship with her mom's partner Dave, it was a nasty one, and that Amy was quite scared of him. But Audrey said this was not the case at all, and they got on with each other. When the investigation began into the disappearance of Amy Fitzpatrick, there was no evidence found by the local police or by private investigators Audrey and Dave hired. They had sniffer dogs with the scent of Amy's belongings, but nothing was found. The case obviously then went cold, as there was nothing to go on. No leads, nothing. Her friends, family and police all took the route she would have taken, but nothing. She seemingly disappeared into thin air. In June of 2008, 6 months after Amy's disappearance, Audrey received a phone call, and it was from a man who claimed he knew information about Amy and her whereabouts. He said he had vital information that the Fitzpatrick family needed to be able to find her daughter. He said she had been kidnapped and is in Madrid, which is the capital of Spain, and that the police cannot be involved. The man then said he would ring Audrey back with a name and address. And 5 hours after this, she received a text from the same number, and it said, "Can you pay us €500,000, yes or no? Send your answer now, and we will send you all the information you need." With this, Audrey immediately got onto the police, and they found the number was on prepay and it wasn't registered to anyone, making this lead an unfortunate dead end. Also in 2008, the office where Audrey and Dave's lawyers kept stuff belonging to the case, like Amy's pink phone, a laptop and some confidential documents, they were all stolen. But the strange thing about this is there was a lot of other valuables in the office which were not touched. So someone broke into this office and they targeted something very specific, or anything relating to the case. The person or persons who broke into the office, they have never been identified. It would surface in the media Amy had a diary, and the writings from the diary were released to the public and media by her aunt, her actual father's sister. She believed the public deserved to know how her niece was living her life before she went missing. The diary entries made it look Amy was sad and lonely and really missed her home in Ireland, detailing how she had to forage for food in bins. In one of the entries, Amy drew herself living in a cardboard box with an arrow pointing to the bins, where she would get her food from. This was accompanied with text that said, "I smell of dog shit, and I haven't had a shower in 2 years, and I moved into my new house today, and it's quite small, and it's not being painted. I am hoping to paint my cardboard box soon." Amy's mother Audrey slammed Amy's aunt for releasing this, and for agreeing to speak to the media about them. Audrey claimed the reports were very inaccurate and wildly taken out of context. She then claimed Amy was a normal teenager who never went without food. She went on to say, and I quote, "This was a kick in the teeth. This woman says now she will never give up searching for Amy. But where was she before my daughter vanished? The last contact she had with Amy was 3 years before she disappeared." End quote. Amy's auntie then responded saying, and I quote, "It doesn't matter when I last saw Amy. whether it was 3 or 6 years. She is my blood relative, and I won't rest easy until I find the truth." End quote. Along with this, there was a letter sent to the Irish Embassy in Madrid. This letter had been sent to the embassy in 2005, 3 years before Amy went missing. In this letter, a woman's daughter who went to school with Amy raised concerns about the teen's welfare at home. She said she was concerned for her safety and that she wanted to move back to Ireland to her father. But the most chilling part of this letter was that the person who wrote it wrote inside saying, "It is very probable that Amy will disappear." And fast forward 3 years, and this is now the case. Amy disappeared under very suspicious circumstances. As the years went on with no information on their daughter, the family decided to pack up and go back to Ireland. They didn't want to stay in the area that constantly reminded them of the tragedy and their missing daughter. In May 2012, it was reported that the Irish gangland killer Lucky Wilson, he went by the nickname Lucky, had killed Amy. This information was given to Dave Mahon, Amy's mother's boyfriend, through a source on Facebook. This source said they heard Lucky was boasting about killing Amy while he was in a bar. He was telling his friends he had got away with murder and that he would never be caught. Lucky Wilson would have been living in Spain at the same time Amy Fitzpatrick disappeared. The police were then involved, but this was all just speculation and no evidence linking him to Amy at all. Lucky is currently serving a 23-year sentence in Spain for completely separate crimes. Although this is further speculation, the main suspect in the eyes of the public is Amy's mother's boyfriend, Dave Mahon. This was based upon the alleged strain in the relationship Amy had with him. Also, why would the family say her phone was in the apartment when Ashley said she is 100% sure she had it with her? There was speculation that Amy could have gotten into an argument back in her home and it could have led to Amy being killed. And this could have been how her phone was still at her apartment. But again, this is just speculation. In 2021, Amy's dad Christopher and her aunt Christine were told by an unknown source that they can find Amy's remains under stable number 5 at the derelict racetrack, which was only 15 minutes away from where she went missing. But this lead has not yet been followed up by the Spanish authorities. Unfortunately, this is all that is known about the disappearance of Amy Fitzpatrick. Sadly for the Fitzpatrick family, this would not be the only tragedy they had to face, as on the 26th of May 2013, Dean Fitzpatrick, which is Amy's older brother, who she had been very close with, he was stabbed to death after an argument which allegedly started over a bottle of water. And this argument was between the then 44-year-old Dave Mahon, Audrey's partner, and the 23-year-old Dean. David Mahon was arrested but was let out on bail. Before this, Dean had just had a baby with the woman he loved, and he was just getting settled back in Ireland, with a job he liked and a house to call his own. On the 4th of June 2014, Dean was finally laid to rest. There was a delay in the funeral due to a legal dispute between Dean's parents, his actual father Christopher, and his mother Audrey. But eventually, Dean's body was released and laid to rest. Audrey, Dean's mother, attended the removal, but was too distraught to attend the funeral the day after. On the 12th of May 2015, 2 years after David had stabbed Dean, the pair had got married. When Audrey eventually walked down the aisle, her 2 children were missing. One killed by the man she would be marrying, and the other missing for 7 years. People who attended the wedding, they were shocked that she would even go through with marrying David. He killed her son Dean, and many people believe he was involved in the disappearance of her daughter, Amy. How she could live with marrying this man? He killed her only son. Even if it was an accident, she would have to live with that for the rest of her life, laying with a man who left her grandchild fatherless. And finally, on the 13th of June 2016, David Mahon was sentenced to 7 years for manslaughter of his stepson, Dean Fitzpatrick. The rest of the Fitzpatrick family that were at the trial seemed to be happy to see the man responsible put behind bars, stating quotes, "It's been a long road to get here. Today has given us some closure. Dean's death has been a huge loss to our lives, and we will never forgive the man who killed Dean. He's put us through hell and back." In early 2018, at the age of 47, David Mahon was diagnosed with nose and throat cancer and taken regularly from prison to hospital to attend chemotherapy. Audrey was always present at these sessions, and she stood strong next to her husband, despite him being in prison for killing her only son. And in 2021, David was released from prison after 5 years. And this was the last we heard of the Fitzpatrick family, until the 3rd of January 2021. News broke in the Olive Press, which is a local newspaper in the area Amy went missing. And it said, a British man associated with a drugs gang was put under investigation in connection to Amy's disappearance. But this ended up being just speculation, and nothing ever came from it. It would have been Amy's 30th birthday in February 2022. The family have called for a cold case review, but the case remains suspended until further information is provided, which will be reviewed before reopening. The Fitzpatrick family have been put through a measurable life-changing heartbreak on more than one occasion. As the years go on and more information comes to light, all we can do is hope Amy can be brought back home and her family can find peace. Thank you for watching. Thoughts go out to Amy's family and friends.